Hey Puentistas, I'm here with your week 6 overview. I've got in student mode, so what you see right here on the screen should be exactly what you see on your own computer. I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. Do this first. This is the video you're watching right now. You can always go back to it. Remember, I explain everything that's going to be going on in the week in that. Let's jump to the text of our overview. We've got a couple large themes we're working on this week. First, we're going to be starting some work on our next essay, which is going to be about how people learn the English language in the United States if they've come from somewhere else with another first language. And the two big competing models are bilingual education versus English immersion. Bilingual means in the classroom you're taught both in English and in that other language. It could be Spanish, it could be Chinese, it could be Farsi, whatever it is. Usually it's Spanish because Spanish is such a popular second language in the US. And English immersion is the model where basically a student who does not know English has a different first language, Spanish, Chinese, Farsi, you name it. They're put into an English-speaking classroom and only spoken English to, and that in that way they are immersed in English and pick it up that way. And there are pros and cons to each, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get a little bit farther into the week. Now, you're also going to be submitting a final draft of your first essay to turnitin.com. Let's go ahead and go through the weekly schedule. You've got a little bit of reading in English Composition 2, revising and editing. Remember, that is our online English textbook. You can find the hyperlink to that on the syllabus. You just jump over to the syllabus. You'll see it right in there. But you know, I should probably copy it back. You can tell because it's all blue. Boom. See, it's going to totally take you there. I'll try to remember to put a link there as well too. I try to overlink everything, as you might be getting that that feeling from me. Also on Monday, you're going to preview, read, and annotate the CQ Researcher article, Bilingual Education. Now here, yeah, I have linked it right to our overview. And notice, boom, it'll get you right to the article. But before that, because I'm already logged in, it got me straight in. But it's going to take you to the Chaffey login page where you're going to have to put in your first two initials and your student number and then whatever password you've used before. And if you've got any issues with that, please, please, please let me know or contact the library help desk. They can help you too. It's going to be important for us to get in there. So, if you notice, we've talked a little bit about CQ Researcher last semester. There's a whole lot going on in here in this full report. Now, I'm asking you to preview and skim the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. And this will just kind of give you an idea of what the issue is. And remember, there are footnotes coming up. But this is going to be the subject for our next essay. And it's still a very, very contentious issue in a lot of communities. So we're going to do a little bit of background on it. And again, remember to do the preview first. Read the intro, the first sentence of every paragraph, and then down to the conclusion. In this case, down through the pro and con. Remember, the pro and con will give you positives and negatives about that particular position. And look, you can jump to it right here. Is bilingual education best for English language learners? And you can have somebody saying yes or pro and con or no. And again, there's a lot of push and pull. There's a lot of tug of war going on this issue right now. And it really relates to how we move forward as a community, how we move forward as a state and a nation. No pressure though. I picked this subject because, it does relate to certain Puente themes, but keep in mind the research that you do and the position that you take on it. Whatever it is totally fine. There's no right position or wrong position. I'm not here to teach you what to think, but how to think. Now, when you get to that paper, we'll talk about what's going to make for a good paper. Anyway, so you're going to read and skim through that. Then you're going to go to the discussion. We'll jump back to course modules. And basically, we're just starting to do some work on thinking about the issue. I'm asking you to answer the following questions on this topic. Did you or anybody close to you transition from Spanish to English in an American school? Do you remember if it was bilingual education or English-only immersion? How effective do you think the method was? After reading the CQ researcher article, Bilingual Education, do you or whoever had the experience think that the method that was used was the best one for you or for that other person if you're talking about somebody else? Why or why not? Add as many supporting details or specific details as you can within 150 words. So again, this is almost like a journal entry slash free write. I'm not expecting to be super beautifully and tightly structured like we would an essay. What's really more important is that we just get our ideas down, our initial thoughts, to think about how we might position ourselves regarding this topic. And of course, you've got the comment due Monday at midnight, and you've got the replies due Thursday at midnight. I can give you a little bit of wiggle room on this one because I know the article is a little long. If it takes you till Tuesday, I've left it open that far just because I know you're balancing that, this long article, and getting your essay one ready. Coming up next, we'll talk about the essay prompt, bilingual education versus English immersion. Now, if you notice here at the top, I've given you a timeline of what is due when. Now, notice we've got a lot of extra steps on this one. This is going to be our large project for the semester. And I'm putting it in the middle instead of the end. I'm trying something new because a lot of us in the department were thinking about how if we put the big project at the end, sometimes everything comes to a head and something implodes, and oftentimes it's the English class. So if we go in the middle, hopefully that helps balance things out. So anyway, you have a thesis due coming up on Thursday the 16th. Actually, I moved it to Friday 17th because I really want you to think about just getting your paper in. I'll come back and I'll change that. You're going to do an annotated bibliography. We'll spend a lot of time talking about that. Your sources are going to be due when we have an office conference together. Then you're going to have a rough draft due, a bibliography rough draft, an annotated bibliography final draft, then a sentence outline, a rough draft, and a final draft. That's a whole lot of steps. I mean, we're really slowing down the process on this, but it's for a good reason. It's to make sure that we know how to do those steps when they're necessary. Anyway, it really comes down to structure. So basically, I'm asking you here, once again, to read the CQ researcher essay about bilingual ed. And again, those first 6 sections are going to be sufficient for where we are now. So don't feel like you have to do more than that. After that, pick one of the following positions. Bilingual education is the best program for teaching English learners in grades K through 12. English in another language in the classroom. English immersion is the best program for English learners. That's going to be English only, no other language. And then there's a different approach. If there's like a third approach that you've read about or that you've heard about and you want to go in that direction, that's totally fine. Once again, remember, my job is to make sure not that you have my arguments, my positions, but that you know how to support your own arguments and your own positions. And in order to get that to happen, we're going to be doing some research with the databases. And all of the stuff that we do with annotated bibliography is going to be about checking out sources and see if they're going to fit into that paper that we're going to write. So there are lots and lots of points along the way. And that's because, it's important for us to value process. That's how we get better. And anyway, we've got, of course, some requirements here at the bottom: 4 pages, at least 5 sources. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail. But again, I know you're already thinking about Essay 1 and getting that in. But I do a little bit of overlap because I really like stretching out the process for us. Hopefully that makes sense. Of course, any questions at all, I want you to talk to me. Now, notice also we have a submission at turnitin.com and also tutoring verification. If you went to the tutor and you want to turn in your tutor slip, just go ahead, click on that link, start assignment, and you can upload a picture of it. So you might have to email the picture of it through your phone to your computer, or if you got emailed because you did like distance education tutoring or Zoom tutoring, maybe it's an email confirmation, in which case you can screenshot it. Just let me know. There are lots of different ways to submit, perhaps too many. And the Turnitin link. How many of you have Turnitin before? Raise your hand. Okay, that's quite a few, but not everybody. That's okay. I'm going to walk you through it, and we'll do it even in greater detail when we come back on Thursday. So notice, oh, it's locked until February 16th. I'm going to have to unlock that. I'm going to pause right here and unlock that. Okay, I fixed it. That was really fast, huh? All right. So if you've never used Turnitin, you can click right here on this link for some quick instructions about how to do it. I'm more than happy to go over it with you too. You will need to enter a class ID after you have an account and a class enrollment password. Notice the class enrollment password is the same as our section number. I try to keep it easy for you that way. I'll kind of let you know how it works. So I'm jumping over there, log in to Turnitin. Here you see this is my account. I use it with my school account. I think you should too. Keep school with school, keep private with private. Really good general rule. That's all I have to say about that. So I log in, and yours is going to look a little bit different because you're a student and not the teacher, but you'll just click on this and you'll be given a prompt to upload. And again, that video does a really great job of helping you figure that out if you've got any questions. And of course, feel free to text me on Remind, contact me through Canvas inbox. Remember, one last big reminder: Essay 1, final draft, print it out. Have it in class on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Print at home if you can. If not, that's okay. Try to come to school early. You can print in the Success Center, FNFC. Talk to Lucy at the front desk there in that big room in the middle. But yeah, don't all swarm her at the end. I would say we can use our printers, but I don't know if they're going to be working yet. Remember, we had that terrible problem where it was cutting off the last 3 lines on the margins down there. So I'll check on Tuesday, if not Monday, to see if we've got that handled out. But I've already got a couple of options that we can work around in case things get kind of janky. But if at all possible, bring that printed draft with you, or get it printed at the Success Center. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will talk to you soon.